situation in my head. I'm going to keep my dangly bits where they are. Oh, cool. Cool. Let's do a run through, eh? You ready?
Okay, yes, we're ready. So okay.
Right. We'll get that set up once we can run through. All right. Hello. Oh yeah, I'm talking on the mic. This one's not as loud as the one next door. Mike Langford. I need your attention now. Getting all persnickety before, and you're the one causing trouble. We're gonna welcome everybody to the nature category, sponsored by. The suspense by Epson, the wonderful Epson. This category celebrates the beauty, wonder, and diversity of nature through capturing the authentic natural landscape and its wildlife. It includes images of land, flora, animals, aquatic life, marine and freshwater, birds, insects, amphibians, and reptiles. I'll tell you a bit more about it shortly, but first we're going to do the run-through. I will be your panel chair this afternoon. My name is Jason Blair. Beside me is the lovely Mel Waite and the lovely Adam Buckle. Very. Running. Okay. I would like to invite to the judging panel Ilan Wittenberg, Glenn Howie, Melissa Anderson, Craig Whitgen, and Rachel Smith. Hey! Okay, so judges, as you get logged in, just actually stand by a second till I get the right thing up here because I might kick you all out by accident. No. We're good? You're already logged on? I can see you. Can we all get logged on, please? So entries into this category may be commissioned or non-commissioned. Entries should reflect a diversity of subject matter and be truly representative of the natural world in a realistic, honest, and creative way. This is not a category for domestic animals, family pets, farm animals, zoo animals, captive wild animals, wildlife captured with bait, or cultivated plants. An image may include an indication of human existence, for example, a fence line or a shipwreck, etc., but must not include the human figure itself. Images should reflect the mastery of traditional photographic values, camera technique, print quality, composition, and light. I will be reading captions and titles for the images for which they are supplied. I don't have them for every image, but hopefully there's maybe a few in the system that I can spot as well. So please pay attention to the captions and titles as I read them and interpret the image in light of that. Without further ado, I think we're ready to begin. How's everything going out the back? Can we have the first print, please? There's no title supplied with this image. You want to check the orientation? Yeah. Ignore the screen. Scores, please, judges. Mel Anderson, I haven't got a score from you.
It's in my screen. Did you
Is
receive
it in?
that? Yeah, it even shows it on the bottom of my thing.
Why? Can you
Unsend and resend.
can you have another nudge? Give it another nudge.
Now it's gone. Yeah, we cleared it.
I cleared it. The thinking. I've got the thinky thing. No.
No. Okay, do you want me to log out?
Ignore the screen. There's an issue. The digital file has been supplied differently. But we're still not getting that score. Michael, we don't have Mel's score.
You have to sign out.
We need to sign Melissa out and back in. So we're not getting her
Won't let me sign on.
score. Sign out and sign back in, please, mate.
Try again, sign out.
Can we have a blank screen, please? Seeing as this is the first image of the day, maybe we'll get this sorted before we go on, eh? Yeah, if you can sign out, please, Melissa, and sign back in. So we're going to have a bit of a meltdown. Please stand by while we experience technical difficulties. Enter a score. Oh, we got it. Can we have the print back, please? Print score. Oh, you just who just disappeared now? Oh. Judges, mate, they're just nothing but trouble. We're not angry, we're just disappointed, that's right. Okay, you're back. We have a score of 82, which is a silver. There is a challenge available, and Glenn is going to take it. Go on, Glenn.
I gave it a 88, went up there, fell in love with it. I love the brooding emotional quality to it. I really enjoy the fact that there's an abstract quality of what's going on and I can't truly read it to understand it. I found it a refreshing image to see. That powerful black background really moved me. This image is all about emotion for me, and I think technically they've managed to pull it off. It's subtle, but I believe they've done well. Now, just looking at the marks that we've got from everyone else, I think we can get this up to a silver with distinction, which is where I clearly believe it lives.
Where do you believe it lives, Mel?
So I've been adjusted and excluded anyway, but I was sitting at the other end, so I'm sitting in the professional standard. I do feel the mood. I just felt that I wanted a little bit more detail. I wanted an anchoring point. You know, I'm drawn into that little highlight down the bottom, but you know, it's not particularly sharp in that point. And I understand there's mist and there's, you know, it's a waterfall, but I just wanted a little bit more information in some of those blacks, and I wanted a little anchoring point to bring me in. But obviously, I'm on my own, so I'm listening, and yeah.
Craig.
This image has got a great sense of brutality to it, and Mother Nature is can be quite brutal, but it also has a very subtle, very soft, supple feel to this. So I almost I can see creatures and you know, a bird in the mist, but that brutality of that aggressiveness of the water. Now, detail in the shadows, well, I don't care about that. I care about that texture in that water. So you know, I'm a solid silver, and I'm definitely going to come up higher.
Glenn, back to you, buddy.
Yeah, Craig, with you. I don't want to see anything in those blacks. They're allowed to be black. Black's a great colour. All of that emotional quality leads me to want to view it and view it again. And I think we're in a position here where we can reward the photographer for being able to capture something's essence rather than just its visual qualities. And for that reason alone, I think it should be up in the silver with distinctions.
Thank you, judges. Please rescore the print as you see fit. Currently sitting at 82. Glenn's keen to see it a bit higher than that, and he's got an 86, silver with distinction. Can we have the next print, please? This image has the title Metamorphosis. Scores, please, judges. Craig. We good, sorry. That scores an 81, which is a silver. Can I please have a comment for the author or the photographer's benefit? Glenn, go on.
Yeah, look, the colour palette is spectacular. Composition works beautifully. There's that little black mark on the right-hand side which annoys me, but of course it can't be taken out. But I really love what you've done with this image. Well done.
Thanks, team. Next print, please. Title for this print is Tomtit versus Cicada. Tomtit versus Cicada. Print scores 74. There is an opportunity. No. We will accept that high professional standard. Can I hear from Rachel for a... Ilan's happy to if you're not so keen. You doing it? Cool.
Fantastic subject and nice capture of, characteristic traits that the
Get that
animal
mic
does.
in
Sorry.
your face.
I think if you wanted to improve it, then look at things like that bit of grass or leaf that's coming in front of part of the bird. Just get a bit more clarity there.
Speak up.
Sorry, I'm too quiet. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so just watch for things that are actually coming across the subject.
Thank you. Next print, please. Really got to shove that mic in your mouth. We want to hear your beautiful words. The image title for this one is Spider's Level of Vision on Moist Web. The caption is spiders usually have 6 to 8 eyes, but few have good eyesight. They rely instead on touch, vibration, and taste stimuli to navigate and find their prey. Image captures the vision, angle, and perspective from the insect's irises. Thank you, judges. Thank you, judges. Print scores silver at 80, but there is a possibility of a challenge down the far end there. Only if you mean it. You really have to speak up, though.
I really enjoy the way that this is...
What did you score it, Rachel?
Oh, sorry, I scored at 88, silver distinction. I think it's really nicely captured. It's indicative of the environment that the spider's in. The focus and depth of field, all of that, I think it really works well. I don't mind that there is quite solid black in there. I think that helps highlight the beauty, the jewel-like quality of the web. So I think, silver distinction works really well.
Thanks. Can I have Glenn at the other end of the scale, and then we'll come to Craig in a moment.
I was down there on 72, adjusted and excluded for that. I didn't quite get it as a photograph, if I'm honest. I quite liked some visuals that were going on, but the fact that it was the spider's point of view, or a limited depth of field shot of a web, I just didn't quite feel that it communicated to me what I wanted to see from, the spider's point of view. Plus those blacks reveal nothing. So it just became pure graphics for me. It left me feeling a bit cold.
Craig, I can see you getting ready to fire up.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to come up. I've scored it in a solid silver, and when I first initially looked at it, I'm thinking silver distinction, and I should have stuck with my initial gut. For a photographer really to represent in the nature category something really extraordinarily out of the ordinary, from a point of view, compositionally, beautiful use of depth of field. You're going to get that with that, being so close, that beautiful bokeh. So that real graphical element here is what's really pulling me into this image even more and even further. So it really, you sit there and you squint at it too, and your eye goes straight to those beautiful elements that you want us as a viewer to look at. So I rewarded that photographer in there, so hopefully that can help you out a little bit further with that, Rachel.
You can make a quick comment, Mel. Please do.
Yeah, I was similar to Craig. I'm going up as well. I think the point that I particularly love the print surface in here. It has that metallic feel when you go up. And what I love about this image is, okay, we've got that scientific reference of what it is, but we have beautiful composition. We're drawn in through those leading lines, and we're drawn around that image. So it's very dimensional, and I think it's a great execution. So I'll go up to silver distinction as well.
Right of reply is yours, Rach.
Thank you. I'm really pleased that you guys have listened. Glenn, I think that the things that you found as negatives were a lot of the things that I found as positives with the blacks, especially. And yeah, I just think that it definitely takes it up into that next level. So, thanks.
Thank you, judges. Please rescore the print. Currently sitting on 80, looking for... we have an 84, which is a very solid silver. Great discussion, judges. Can we please have a blank screen? Yeah.
It's sitting on the cusp. Do you still argue that?
Not for a distinction. Yeah, only for a whole range. Rachel, thank you. Might be worn out after that effort, so we'll give you a break. Can we have Mike jump in, please? I can't find myself anytime. Jackie, do you want to jump in instead? Oh, she can?
I can be Estefani.
Oh, I know why. Yeah, no.
I can be Estefani.
Running is good.
Yeah, she's nice.
Running is nice. Oh, leave us. Mr.
Sorry, could I- Stand by, sorry. There's just there's a weird, this is such a small category, it's a bit complicated. So we've got some funny judge juggling to do.
I don't think Esther's judging.
No, we just got to ask honours for what. It's above my pay grade to make that call. 0. Everything is above my pay grade. In the meantime, who can I pick on? Craig's the only one making eye contact. That's a bad move, buddy. Introduce yourself a little bit to the crowd, mate.
My name's Craig Wetchin, and from Australia, but you can probably tell from my accent, I'm not originally from Australia, but I am an Australian citizen, but I'm also, or unfortunately, or however you want to look at it, American citizen as well. Been living in Australia for almost 25 years. And yeah, so if you guys haven't heard of a friend of mine, Steve Scalone, who's going to be here tomorrow, he and I have started up a project called Project Street 730, where we organize 30 photographers from a local city, and we shoot, edit, print, and exhibit and auction all in the same day. So it is literally a photo shoot by blind, and the exhibition's blind as well, until it actually gets hung, and it's all for charity. So we've raised almost $27,000 in Australia, and hopefully we can well and truly break the $30,000 mark for charity here in New Zealand on Sunday. The charity is the Ronald McDonald House.
I believe your donations from your coffee during the conference will be going towards that same charity.
Fantastic, brilliant. So the auction is open to the public. So anybody in the audience, feel free to, bid online. Is it Trade Me?
Trade Me.
Trade Me.
Is that where it is?
That's where it'll be.
Very, very, very cool project. Get amongst it, team. In the meantime, we can welcome Mike/Esther to the panel. Sorry about that complication. If we're all ready to go, can we have the next print, please? The title for this print is The Australian Pelican. Scores, please, judges. Okay, print scores 73. That is a high professional standard. Yep. Yeah, can we have a quick comment for the photographer's benefit, Elan?
Beautiful color palette and beautiful crop. I love the circle. It works well. We're losing some detail in the whites with the white sort of as a high key, and so it's less than ideal separation.
Thank you. Can we have another blank screen? Is that right? And who's out? Who's in? Okay, Craig. Take a break, mate. Jackie. Oh, now we've got Jackie sitting next to Mike. Awkward. No canoodling. There's going to be a real judge juggle during this. It's such a short category, so it's just how it is. We like keeping you guys on your toes. Hmm? Esther's Mike's Esther. Oh, are you missing? Did you say you're missing? What? Everything's good. Yeah. Yeah, nothing's wrong. Whew. Next print, please. The title for this print is Juvenile Spotless Crake. Print scores 73. That is a high professional standard, and I would love to hear Glenn give us a wee constructive comment. Zap. Sorry, mate.
Gave this image a 73, right in the money. It's exactly what we'd expect from a professional photographing this type of creature. They've done a wonderful job, but it's just missing an X factor to push it into, whether that's light quality, the event. It's missing that X factor to go up to the next level.
Thank you, Glenn. Can we have the next print, please? For anyone wondering what I was zapping about there on the live stream, we've got some static electricity build up and Glenn got zapped. but then we'll smell their feet. No title. Okay, Prince scores an average of 80. Mel Anderson, you're not entirely on your own, but you're a bit out there. What have you got?
I'm always out there. Yeah, this is. It's such a striking image. There's so much energy. There's so much movement. It gives us. It's atmospheric. It's ethereal. The particular movement that we've got of those clouds, particularly the one at the top of the peak, it just gives it so much energy and reference. And then we've got that beautiful anchoring point of the light just hitting that mountain top with the snow. And so this, to me, it's so strong. Compositionally, it's strong. We've got all of that beautiful negative space above where we've got that energy moving, and that dark, solid peak in the bottom that actually anchors it. So I see this as so strongly sitting as a silver distinction.
Glenn, where do you see this?
I was right at the other end of the scale. I looked at the photograph, got very excited on the way up, and just wanted it to work because it had. I actually agree with everything that Mel said, and then I just went, that mountain's not sharp, and I was just so disappointed in that fact. I wanted the mountain to be razor sharp. It needed to be, because everything else had movement. And for me, an image like that needs to be either all blur and energy, or one razor sharp moment and the blur for the rest. So that just disappointed me hugely. But others disagree, so please talk to me.
Esther? Sorry, Mike?
Well, I think there's a visual discord that's happening with that piece of snow against the black of the mountain. There's no connect there, and because the mountain doesn't have detail, it floats on nothing, and I find that really visually disconcerting.
Yeah, Jackie. Yeah.
I'm speaking for the print. I've given it 83, and I think the subject is more about, for me, the cloud, that vertical cloud pulling up from the top, and the slash it's bringing emotion to me. It's almost like a scar. I don't need this to be realistic. It's a communication that's getting to me, and there is dynamic action happening in the cloud above. So I'm reading it as a piece of artwork that's come from nature, and it's in camera capture that this category is, and I'm celebrating it that. And I'm forgiving the sharpness because it's about emotion and the subject being the cloud.
Back to you, Mel.
Yeah, I think this is all about emotion. This is all about movement. This is it's about a feeling, and it's about a sense. And as Jackie's just commented, it's in camera, and it is so that the clouds are captured in such a way that it flows beautifully, both up and across, and you read it, it has a life to itself, and that's what I'm recognising and responding to in that evocative feeling. So I'd encourage you to come up.
Okay, thank you, judges. Please rescore this print. Currently sitting on 80. Come up on a cloud with me. And we have an 82. That's a solid silver. Can we have the next print, please? Sorry, the title is Intertwined. I keep There's two different places I have to look for titles, so thank you for reminding me. Great, consistent scoring, judges. That's a 77 bronze. Can I have a comment for the photographer? Mike's got his hand up first. Sorry.
A little crop off
need to
the
get your
top.
voice.
There is some quite saturated colouring happening up there. That's just a fraction distracting.
Thank you. Can we have a blank screen, please? Going to juggle some more judge juggling. Mike and Jackie have worked so hard. Take another break. And our other two, Rachel and Craig, back in the hot seats. All ready to go? Okay, can we have the next print, please? Title is Tui Blossom. Scores, please, judges. Print scores 77. Craig's going to challenge that. Why not?
Yeah, so I scored at 83 in a solid silver, and this photograph really has that picturesque, painterly feel to it, and I really wanted to let this image really speak from what this photographer is presenting. The color here, the color palette with the bird, the pink flowers, it's just got that pastel feel to it. And to present something from in the nature category, this sits perfectly and is represented in that just higher than professional practice. It's just bringing it into that high level of camera craft, but the craft is the presentation here, is photographing that bird, and the compositional elements really well lend itself really well to this image. So I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. It doesn't
I'll come to
go in
Ilan,
that direction.
and then you. Ilan first.
Thank you. Look, it's a beautiful subject, and the angle is unique. I love the composition. The thing that held me back quite severely, I gave it 72. There's lack of separation. If you look at the background is quite bright, and then some of those flowers simply fade into that background, which is semi-okay, but the choice of paper is quite unique to bring all the details, and it lets down. The bird has these beautiful feathers that are supposed to be green and blue and dark and all the shades and all the texture, but that, the final print doesn't bring that to life. It simply fails, in my eyes, to bring the majestic features of this bird.
Glenn, what have you got there? What were you on?
I was on 78 and I was chicken, and I should have gone a little higher. Craig, I heard what you said there, and I went, God, I agree with everything. Why was I sitting on 78? I was just a bit low. The presentation is fine. I mean, it's that high quality fine that it glows. It's got a lovely ethereal quality to it. The colours are there. It's rich. It's vibrant. It is above what I would expect from a photographer who was sent out or had a job to photograph this creature. I'm with you, mate. Let's go up.
Mel, one more Aussie in the mix, why not?
With a little shock. Look, I adored this image when it turned around, and I love the colour, and I completely agree. This is such a pictorial, beautiful, ethereal image. The thing that's really holding me back, which I'm really struggling with, is I feel the sharpest point is the blossom. And that's what I'm really struggling with, that the bird and the head of the bird and that area isn't the sharpest point. It's soft, and the blossom in that foreground is the sharpest element. And that's my reason for holding back. I want it to be sharp in that head and in those little feather areas to be able to escalate this dramatically.
Finish us off there, Craig.
Yeah, look, I actually don't see it that way. I'm looking at the very bottom part of my glasses, which is the highest magnification I can get out of my glasses. So that's why I'm sitting there looking at it like that. And, the feathers on a bird are just almost so delicate. To get that resolved out of the photograph sometimes is really, really hard. I think we're trying to pick this apart a little bit too much. The high-key nature of this shot, going back to what you were saying, that's the challenge from a photographer in nature, to pull that high keyness out of this and to give this the image that's got that pastel painterly feel to it. So I rewarded it straight in that higher than professional practice in that solid silver of an 83. So that's what I'm asking for.
Thanks, judges. Let's rescore this image. Currently sitting at 77, and Craig would like to see it bump up. And we've got an 80. That's silver. Can we have a blank screen, please? Rachel, you want to hop out? Mike, do you want to hop in? Yeah, sorry, Esther. I get confused between you. Personas. Okay, ready to go? Next print, please. The title for this one is Royal Spoonbill in Flight. Ooh, and then we have an initial score of 82. Mel's got her hand up straight away. Take it away, Mel.
I scored this in the gold range. I love the decisive moment that has been captured with just that bird, just those front feathers just coming up right at the foreground. The shape, the form, the strength of that bird is so well captured. The detail in that, the beautiful graduation from top to bottom of the image, the ripples, and then I absolutely love the distortion and the reflection and the depth of that tonal range. We go from those lights to that milky black. In the foreground. It takes it to a moment that is so well seen with shape and form and strength, and then it takes it and brings it into an art form. So for me, this sits as absolutely stunning visual communication, decisive moment in camera, and so well executed and handled. So for me, this is a gold, and I'd love to chat about it.
Thanks, Mel. Ilan, you're a ways off there.
Yes, I'm on 75. I'll go up, but I'm happy for that to sit higher. I can see the qualities, and I love the composition. Look, for that to be in really high in high award, I'd need to see a little bit more detail. Some of those details are gone there. You know, the ripples are beautiful, and they gradually disappear, and we don't see them. There's like emptiness at the top. The feathers, I'd love to see more details in the bright areas, and it just looks like some grain, but look, it's nothing there. It's like very, very hard to see anything. And it's very hard, it's challenging. So for that to be really high award, I need to get a little bit more punch, but I'm listening.
Looking for another a middle ground, perhaps. Come on, Glenn.
Yeah, I'm tucked in there at 83, and I feel that's a reasonable mark. Sorry. There's lots of things I loved about this photograph. The graphic nature of it was wonderful. The detail and the reflection from up underneath the feathers were wonderful. But then I lost the bill itself wasn't as crisp as I wanted to see. So I think it's well and truly deserved of a very good award, which is a silver.
Yep, go on. Quickly, Mike.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, it's an image I have seen many times before. The difference is the reflection, and that's the part that really got me. I love what's happening on the water. It's a very Japanese interpretation of almost like an ink drawing of something, and that's what captured me. In terms of the bird itself, it's a very normal way of seeing a bird in flight, and so I accept that. But the exception for me was the reflection.
Mel, out of a plane.
Yeah, there is detail in those top ripples all the way down. I enjoy the delicateness through this image, from the bill through to the textural areas. And this it takes us beyond shape and form, and it takes us into pictorial art. It takes us into ink drawings. So for me, this is innovative. This is something that is so well seen. It's a decisive moment, and it's been caught and handled in such a delicate way to support the beauty of flight. So for me, it's aesthetical, it's lyrical, it's flight. And yeah, in any case, we have a chat.
Great chat, team. Can we please rescore this print? Currently sitting at 82. Mel was hoping for gold. See if she's got some friends at least. An 84. It's a strong silver. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. Okay, print scores a 79. Come on in, Mike. Esther, Mike.
I gave this 83. I love it when something happens in nature and man gets to witness that action. This tender moment of mother and calf is beautifully captured, beautifully illustrated. In terms of where we are, what's happening, no distractions. We cut straight to the image, straight to what's important. A beautiful capture, a great moment, well seen, certainly a silver.
Yeah, Mel, we've got a bunch of Aussies in the 70s. What can we...
Yeah, I scored this in the bronze range at 77. I really love the moment, and that's why I've put it in there, because it does feel it's a beautiful tender moment, and it's well caught. The reasons that kept me down a little bit was more the print handling. I felt that I wanted a little bit more contrast through the print. I wanted some of those darker blues that would be a little bit darker just to be darker. So that was what held me back. The actual moment itself is stunning and beautiful.
Elon, you just hovered into silver. Do you want to?
Yeah, so
quick word?
I'm with you, Esther. I gave it 80. I think it belongs in the silver category. It does have the flaws that Mel mentioned, and I agree with everything you said. I mean, to be able to capture images like that and to come up with a calf that, can you say calf, that is so bright and the eyes pop like that, and with its mom, it's like, and the composition with the negative space on the right, I think it's more than, it's more than 79. It's definitely more.
Just a quick wrap up, if I may.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, look, I totally agree with you about the print quality. That the contrast is there. It could be darker. How many points can you take off for such a thing like that? We're actually talking about a couple of points in terms of a print quality. That's a lot to take off for a print quality.
Thank you, judges. Please rescore this print. It's currently on 79. Looking for a silver. And we have an 81 silver. Thank you very much. Can we have the next print, please? This print is titled Sacred Kingfisher. And the caption is Sacred Kingfisher showing nictitating membrane and catch. Pretty consistent scoring there. We have a 74. It's a high professional standard. Just a comment? Yeah, Mike, a quick comment. That'd be great.
Yeah. The sharpness is actually on the water droplets in front of the kingfisher instead of on the kingfisher.
Thank you. Can we have the next print, please? No title. Thank you, judges. Print scores 72. It's a high professional standard. Comment for the judge, Elan? Yeah? Not for the judge, you are the judge. For the photographer.
Thank you for submitting. This is a beautiful composition and nicely captured. I think the vignetting brings it down.
Can we please just re-enter the same scores, judges? Thank you. And a blank screen, please. What's happening? Assistant? Ilan. Take a break. Rach. Jump on in. Don't go far. Welcome aboard, Rachel Smith. Can we have the next print, please? The title is Into the Abyss. You're right there. Sparks are flying in the judging room. Thank you, judges. We have a 76 bronze. Melissa, got a feedback note?
Yeah, there's some beautiful shapes and movement and texture through this image. I'd particularly look at maybe improving in future, maybe look at that the top area of the image where it's going a little bit blue and maybe just bring in some contrast through that area there.
Thank you. Can we have next print, please? Title is Teenage Hawk Tantrum. Prints on 78. Yep, you're in the next scoring range there, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, this bird has personality. This is up front, very personable. It's an exquisite shot for getting in close. It's one of those things that you say to people, the closer you are, the more dynamic the image is going to be, and this is dynamic. It's certainly not an average photograph or an average piece of seeing. It's exquisite. The environment's perfect. It tells us about where we are, what it is. It's full of fear. It's full of aggression. It has personality.
Thanks, Mike. Craig, sitting at the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, look, I see all that. I love that decisive moment, but really what dragged it down is I thought the print quality really took it down. It's too bright. You start struggling and battling for separation between the bird and the background. There's almost no detail or separation, textural detail in the head of the bird, even down the leg. So, knock this density down, 5%, and I'll be right up there in the silver award.
Rachel, quick input.
I scored
support?
this in 82, so I'm up there in the silver range with Mike. I don't agree with you, Craig. The separation, I can see it, especially around the head and the leg. Potentially a little bit up towards the feathers in the top and the sky. I'd give you that. I think the detail in the expression and the mouth, where the tongue comes out, the stance, the ferocity, I think it's really indicative of the nature of that type of animal, and it's a silver for me.
Back to Mike.
Yeah, the great challenge was when Craig said, I'll bring it up to 80 if I can see detail on these areas. I'd like you to go and have another look. What's real about this image for me is that it's the environment that it's in. It's midday, it's bright sun, it's completely contrasty, it's how it should be. It's in this category, we're talking about nature, we're talking about capturing nature, interpreting it, and allowing us to become party to it. This image does all of those things. So if for no other reason, feel the environment, react to it, applaud the photographer for giving this chance for us to have a look at something we haven't seen before. That's the way I see it.
Thanks, judges. Please rescore the print. It's currently on 78. Mike's looking for silver. And we have an 81, silver. Can we have a blank screen, please? Looking a bit puffed after that effort, Mike. It was hard work, so have a wee break. Ilan, do you want to jump back in at that end of the panel this time? Okay, we're all logged in. Everyone ready? Good. Next print, please. So here we have red-crowned crane's mating call. 2 critically endangered male red-crowned cranes, the rarest cranes in the world, stretch their 5-foot bodies to call to 2 uninterested females. Thank you, judges. Okay. The print scores 84. That's a strong silver. It's pretty consistent judging, so we'll just have a comment for the photographer. Glenn's going for it.
Wonderful photograph. Great use of the caption. I just, sorry to go on a bit of a tangent here, but so many of the captions, not necessarily in this category, have not helped at all, whereas that one did. To know how rare these creatures are was very useful to us. And just from a print quality thing, there was lots hanging in the white, but I did want to see a little bit more in the whites.
Thanks very much. Next print, please. While you're judging this image, just to let you know that you can vote. This is for everyone watching in the audience. You can vote for your favourite judge. A great judge from New Zealand, where great judges come from. For the New Zealand judge who you think is doing a really good job.
And wearing orange.
Print scores 70. That is a high professional standard. And I would like to ask Ilan for some feedback for the photographer.
Yeah, lovely composition, and I love the clouds, lots of drama. I'd love to see a bit more detail in the clouds and just a bit of control of the shades.
Can we please re-enter the same scores, team? And we'll have a blank screen, please. Okay, Rachel, have a spell. Also, Glenn, doing well, mate. Have a break. Good work.
Just like that.
For sucking up. Jack and Mackie. Should I say Jackie and Esther? Jester. That's quite good. Oh, yeah. Just do what you feel. Do what feels right. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Yeah, so to continue from before, the Ian Paul Memorial Judge Award. Oh yeah, there's a title. Of course there is. It is Australasian Gannets. The Ian Paul Memorial Judge Award in recognition of a man who played an instrumental role in the understanding of photography and judging in New Zealand and Australia. We'd love your input. Nominate a New Zealand judge. Okay. I'll come back to that. More details to come. Scores, please, judges. Print scores 72. It's pretty consistent. High professional standard. Craig, you going to challenge that? Go for it, mate. Why not? You think it's worth it?
Look, this is, for a photographer to...
What's your score, mate?
I scored it a 78, just right in that solid high bronze category. For the photographer to bring that element of camera craft, which is motion, and to bring that movement in there, and also to pick that right shutter speed. You've got birds that are frozen. You got the one bird in the foreground there that's got that little bit of movement, but there's just so much clarity there. You know, I always, even when I teach my students, is to bring something different to something that's ordinary, and that's bringing movement and adding that camera craft to it. So I really rewarded that photographer to bring that element of camera craft into that, and that motion and movement, especially with the birds in the sky. So I rewarded that photographer with a solid bronze. So that's why I'm asking you guys to come up to a bronze.
Jackie.
Yeah, I'm on 68, and I think the right technique for the right photograph is it should be rewarded, but in this case I don't think it was. The movement of the bird and the bird being cut off right at the neck, and the other birds right in the corner. The composition is not pulling together, so I don't think that motion that you're rewarding was the right one, and there's too many backs of heads of the other birds. That's why I wasn't really connecting with the space and getting that story.
You go on, Mike.
Yeah, just to add something to that, I agree with what you're saying, Jackie, but it's very muddy in the centre. There is no reason for that in post-production, even in this category. It shouldn't be that muddy.
Back to you, Craig. Okay. Please rescore the print. Currently on 72. It says on 72. That's a high professional standard. Can we have the next print, please? No title for this one. Okay, the print scores 76. Mike's going to challenge that. Where are you at, Mike?
I gave this 82. I find the whole presentation of this absolutely, every element supports what's been given to us. The oval mat, the shape of the wings, the sharpness on the bird, the structures in the background that are there as support. It's all coming together. It's beautifully printed. That bird has just got such detail, such clarity, that you look where you want to look and you find the environment that the bird is existing in without intruding into the subject, which is the bird. So the whole structure of this is quite delicate and quite beautiful.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Jackie, you're at the bottom end.
So yeah, I'm 70, and I think that there's lots of opportunities when a photographer is making a photograph like this to bring something new to it or bring something extra. And I think this was a good level of professional standard. But getting into another level is more emotive, or something other than what we would normally see. The egg shape in this category, maybe it's an egg of the bird. I could have got that now, but I'm finding the background is actually sort of distracting. I'm not really getting the emotion, any emotion from it. But listening.
Quick Elan comment.
I love the crop, love the angle of the bird, love the sharpness on the eye, the colors. I think reiterating what Jackie just said, the background detracts a lot. Those so much white and some rocks, and there's so many opportunities to get the birds when they are with clear, beautiful water, and then it will pop beautifully.
Thanks, Elan. Back to you, Mike. No, you happy? Okay. Judges, please rescore the print. Stays on 76. Bronze. Okay. Next print, please. Title is Our Nest. Thank you, judges. Push the button, Craig. Print scores 79. Craig, thought about it a lot. Tell us what you're thinking.
I've scored it in a solid silver of 83. The moment that the photographer has captured here, and I know what some of you guys are thinking, because I was thinking this as well, is control of highlights. But when you have a subject like this backlit, and you've got obviously the face of the birds is in shadow, it's just not possible to capture that dynamic range. What we're actually really coming up here with is a beautifully captured moment, great composition. What a great sense of composition here. And what draws me in even more, the more I even look at this, that yellow and the blue, the piercing blue of the eyes, and the title of this as well lends itself so nicely to this. Is the birds are building their nest, they're mates for life. They've got this rhythm and harmony going on in here, and that's really why I've rewarded this in a solid silver. So I can't really see any fault in this and sitting at a solid silver.
Ilan, do you want to talk to the end? Mike's keen if you're hesitating.
I'll just say, yeah, I love the eyes and the composition is stunning. You're talking about, when there is highlights or backlight. Well, if the conditions are not suitable, then, it's not suitable. And to bring it all the way to, well, the highlights really take it so bad. It really takes so much from the beautiful shape of the birds that it's hard for me to look at that. So I'm still listening, though.
Go on, Mike.
Yeah, we have a thing in photography called high key, and this is a high key photograph, and that's where all these tones actually live. The only detraction to that is the bottom right-hand corner, which should have easily been changed in terms of its tone. But in terms of being a high key photograph, I got this wrong. I gave it 78. I'm definitely going to a solid silver, because I think what's happening in here, the graphic nature of the two birds, what they're doing, the background tells us about the colony. There's a whole bunch of information which is very beautifully and delicately presented to us. So thanks, Craig, for challenging.
Hal, did you want to add something additional? Yeah.
Yeah, I look at this as a very clear example of a decisive moment, and to be able to capture that within this environment and tell a story and giving us all of those contexts of the environment that these birds live within with all of their colony behind them, and to create a strong, graphic, stunning image and a decisive moment that communicates what's going on, I think it sits as a silver. It's really well done.
Look, let's not overanalyze with backlighting, with that style of lighting, it is impossible to get that tonal range with the foreground and a backlit subject. And as Mike said here, high key image, and I'm going to reiterate that piercing blue eyes and that yellow. I'm asking for a silver here.
Thanks, guys. Let's rescore the image. It's currently on 79. Oh, so close to silver. Craig wants to bump it over the threshold, and he's done it. That's 82 silver. Can we please have a blank screen? Jackie and Mike, you're out again. I just like making you stand up. And have we got some judges to come back? We do. You know who you are. There's no one else. Welcome aboard. Can see you both. Can we please have the next print? We have Hoopa swans in thermal steam early morning light. Migrating Hoopa swans rest on the melted shore of Lake Kusharo, northeastern Hokkaido. The simmering volcanic waters melt the edges of the frozen lake. Thank you, judges. Print scores 88. I think Craig won. Craig was quickest.
So thrilled to death that we're on a few of us are on the bandwidth on this. And what I mean on the bandwidth is there's just so much rhythm and harmony in this image. There's so much balance. And for the photographer to bring something very mundane and ordinary in the world to this high key environment, and the presentation. It's got that picturesque, painterly feel. I get this Japanese thing going on in the back of my head that's just bouncing around, and that's the first thing that was popping into my mind. You go up there and you're just drawn in and seduced by the tonal range that's going on, and that soft pastel coloration in there. I'd be interested to really hear what you guys are finding wrong with this, because it's an image that I don't think there's much wrong with it at all.
What did you find wrong with it, Ilan?
I didn't find anything wrong. I made a mistake. I'll go to gold.
Right, Mel.
So I was a bit of a chicken, I think, not a swan, a chicken. At 93, I'm going to go up into gold distinction with this. The shape, the form, the moment I saw this, I just thought of Swan Lake, and I thought about the beauty and the strength, how we're nearly having some injuries up here, how we're drawn in from left to right to that swan so proudly sitting up at that pivotal, decisive moment, and then we're drawn into the flock of the rest of the birds. It is so delicately and beautifully handled. There is detail in every element. It's whimsical. It's stunning. So I'm going to suggest a gold distinction.
Glenn, go on.
I just want to chime in on two factors. One was, I'm with you. We're going up there. I don't know how far, but it's definitely worthy of a gold. I gave it an 87 to start with, and should have been slightly more courageous. I was chicken shit. I do want to make a little note, though, just to those behind us, that it looks okay on the big screen, but you've got to get up close to this print to appreciate it. It's a different deal. It's wonderful when you get up there. Let's go gold.
I'm right there with you, Mel. You know, gold distinction. I 93, and I'm going up in my score even higher. If you really look at their guys, just go up there and look at there's that hint of orange in three of the bills. Now, when we talk about composition, and you know, nature is perfect in so many different ways when it comes to composition, and that decisive moment that this photographer has brought in here, if we start looking at the gold distinction here, we got exceptional mastery in all areas of creative and technical execution. So there's mastery there in the technical execution. Composition, we've got beautiful triangulation in there. You know, so I'm going up. Let's go up. Let's go for it. Gold distinction, folks.
Thank you, judges. Good discussion. Can we rescore the print? Currently sitting at 88. It's big words being thrown around. And we have a 95, gold with distinction.
Thanks, team. Good work, team. Good work.
Okay, take a bit. We've got more judging to do. We've got the next print, please. So here we have budding warrior. Warrior. The sun, nature's hug, breathing life and strength into all things great and small, warm and cold. Print score is 71. That is a high professional standard. Can I have a helpful piece of feedback, Craig?
Because I looked at you, isn't it? It's because I looked at you. I sort of took my glasses and I gave eye contact.
A grave mistake.
No more eye contact for you. Composition. I think a revisit of the frame here, and I'd almost want to frame it square, cut off the right-hand side of it. So that's where, if you recompose that and reframe it, composition-wise, cut up that right-hand side, square format.
Thank you. Can we have a blank screen for a moment? Rachel, bye. Jackie, hop on in. You know you can't resist. Been giving me the eyes all night, buddy. Okay. Everybody ready? Next print, please.
Let's do this.
And here we have Scuttling Spider. This image is a 4-image focus stack to increase the depth of field. And we have a 77. Craig's going to give that a nudge. He thinks, I think. Go on.
I am going to give it a nudge. You know,
Where are you at?
I'm at an 82. I'm getting there. Thanks for giving me a nudge. I like it. Solid silver, you know, a very high level of craft skill and technique. To be able to get into macro photography is a whole nother level of photography. And if there's anybody out there that actually hasn't done macro photography, once you start trying it, you realize actually how hard it is. So by having that little bit of narrative written about the piece, really solidifies the aspect of something so small and so minute, you've got a focus stack to get the depth of field of this spider. Yeah, we can sit here and cringe, it's a spider, but it's gonna move. So you've got to reward this photographer in a silver for that technical aspect of photography.
Mel?
Yeah, I didn't feel it in my spidery senses. I think it's been really well handled. It's been well executed. I gave it a 72, and I guess what I was looking for, I find the print, I would like to see a little bit more contrast in the print. I would like to see the colour balance looks a little bit off for me. Compositionally, I'd like to see a little bit more of the environment or from a different perspective. I believe the technique has been really well handled, but I guess for an award, I'm just looking for a little bit more from that.
All right, I think bringing it home, yeah. No one else is eager.
Yeah, look, I've said what I've had to say, and I think from the spider senses, let's get that out there, right? We said it again. Those eyes really draw you into that image, and you know, I think I'm really rewarding this photographer in a solid silver for that technique, because it's not an easy technique.
Great. Thanks, team. Can we please rescore this print? It's currently sitting on 77. We've gone up to 78. That is a very solid bronze. I'll accept that. That is the last print of the category. Thank you to judges. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to all the entrants. Thank you to the behind-the-scenes crew. Ah, you guys are too much.
No more eye contact for you.
Whatever.
Until the bar.
See you at the bar, and it's all eyes.